How's it going? Today we're going to be tying the Rossie. It's a variation of the Peter Ross wet fly, and in the vise I've got a Camazan B175 size 10, and the thread I'll be using is a uni thread 80 in black. So as normal, just catch on in behind your eye, nice touch and turns down to between the point of the hook and the barb. Use a slack bit of thread there just to help your wraps slide down nice and tight. There you go. Trim off our waist. Now for the tail, we're going to be using some dyed orange golden pheasant tippet. Just pull off a feather here. Strip off any of the broken, badly marked feathers, and you want to separate off about half a dozen or so fibres. Pluck them off. And for the length, we're going for basically what you've covered with your thread, maybe a little bit more. So couple of loose turns. Make sure it's sitting where you want it. If you need to, just twist it a bit to get it on top of the shank. It's not too bad there. Tighten onto it a couple of times. So we'll trim that off. Tidy everything up. And for a rib, we're going to be using some of this silver French oval, size small. So I have a bit that I've already cut off here. And catch it on. Again, bring it down in nice touch and turns if you can. It just helps keep the body nice and smooth and uniform. And for the first part of our body, we're going to be using some holographic silver. So take my length of holographic silver and trim a bevel into it. That just helps make the first couple of overlapping wraps a bit easier to do. Bring your bobbin holder up about halfway up. So we're going to wrap this in the opposite direction to the way we wound our thread. Nice overlapping turns, making sure there's none of the body showing through. About halfway up our body, maybe slightly more. Catch it in with a few turns of thread. Trim off our waist. I like to just nick the edge of the holographic, and then the rest should just break off. Tidy up. And for the front part of our body, we're going to be using some red seal's fur. Now, I have it in a wee dubbing dispenser here, so I just pick a bit out with my dubbing needle and get some onto my thread. You don't have to dub it on too tight because you're going to want it picked out slightly. So nice tight turns, covering all the underbody. And then from here we take a rib open turns, approximately 4 or 5 turns, moving up our body, and we will wind in that the same direction as we wind our thread, so as when we tie this in and pull our thread tight, it pulls the rib tight. There we go. Trim off our oval rib. Now pull back any fibres that are sticking forward, just any of the seals for it. You can at this point, if you want, give your seals for a wee brush out. And for the throat hackle, we're going to be using, it's a natural black hen. I like using the natural rather than the dyed hen, because it gives you that wee iridescent green sheen off it. I think it just helps give the fly a wee lift. Tie it in with 4 or 5 turns. And the stalks on this one are reasonably fine, so I can get away with tying it in by the thick end. Sometimes I have to tie them in by the tips and double them over. So we're wanting 2 or 3 turns of hackle. Catch it in. Trim off our waist. Tidy everything up. The seals for there just poking forward of the eye. Just stroke it back and give it a few wraps. Now, here. Oh. It was just slipping a wee bit there. With your thumb and forefinger, just gently stroke the fibres down to create the throat. And if you want, you can get a few turns of thread around the back, just to persuade them to stay down there. Now for the wing, I'm going to be using some of this tail flank. It's a bag I got from Vineyards, 2 gram, mixed sizes. Originally, the Peter Ross had the folded tail wing, but when you buy one of those mixed bags, you get quite a lot of the small feathers, and they're too small to make full wings out of. So I'll pick out one of the smallish feathers, clean off a lot of the flue from the tail, and open up the tip. Stroke the fibres back, nice and neat. So you catch it in, and what we're going to do is we're going to wind this feather just like a hackle. Trim off anything that's sticking in front. Now take my hackle pliers. These wee feathers can be a bit fiddly. Now the fibres should be nice and soft, so it should be quite easy to stroke back. What you're doing is touch and turns, stroking the fibres back, making sure the stalk of the hackle locks the previous turn down. And again, similar to your throat, a couple of turns. You don't really want the fly to be too heavily dressed. Catch the the hackle down, fold it back. This just helps lock it in place. Then take your scissors, trim off the stock. So from here now, you just want to build up a nice head. There you go, making sure there's no fibres sticking in front of your turns of thread at your head, and we're ready to whip finish. Now, just for a coat of varnish. And there we have the Rossie. A good wee fly for the lochs for sea trout. The one I like using at night time whenever I'm out dolphin fishing in some of my local rivers, and it's a whole lot easier tied than using some of the tail wings, folding them. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed watching it.